The champagne flute shatters against the leather seat. Marcus Chen's hand connects with Jasmine Porter's shoulder, shoving her forward. The black Uber driver steadies herself against the steering wheel, her designer watch catching streetlight. Every passenger in the luxury SUV freezes. Phones emerge from pockets. Jasmine meets Chen's glare through the rearview mirror without flinching. Something in her calm composure unsettles him. Chen adjusts his Patek Philippe, satisfied he's put another service worker in her place. But Jasmine Porter isn't just any driver. The way her fingers rest on the steering wheel, perfectly manicured, the subtle confidence in her posture. Chen has no idea what he's just set in motion, because Jasmine Porter doesn't need this job. She owns the company, and when the board learns what happened to their CEO tonight, Marcus Chen's prestigious career will crumble in ways he never imagined possible. Have you ever watched someone destroy everything with pure entitlement? Jasmine Porter's morning routine reflected discipline honed over 15 years building her empire. 5 a.m. sharp, she rose in her penthouse overlooking the bay. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city, she'd conquered through innovation and relentless determination. The space spoke of success earned, not inherited. Original artwork from emerging black artists lined the walls. Bookshelves held volumes on technology, leadership, and social justice. Her Stanford MBA diploma hung beside patents for the algorithms that revolutionized rideshare technology. But the most prominent display was different. Framed newspaper clippings chronicling her journey. Jasmine Porter, former social worker, launches Ride Connect with $50,000 in savings. Ride Connect secures $100 million in series of funding. Porter becomes youngest black woman CEO of billion-dollar tech company. Each headline represented years of rejection, discrimination, and doors slammed in her face before she built her own door. Today marked something special. Her quarterly tradition of working undercover as a driver, experiencing the platform from the front lines, understanding driver challenges firsthand. Her executive team thought she was crazy. Billionaire CEOs didn't drive strangers around at midnight. But Jasmine remembered being the stranger, the outsider, the woman nobody believed could build something revolutionary. Her phone displayed the evening schedule. 3 rides booked through the VIP tier, Ride Connect's premium service for high-paying clients, corporate executives, tech investors, the kind of people who expected perfection and complained loudly when service fell short. Jasmine pulled on simple black pants and a Ride Connect branded polo shirt. She tied her natural hair back, removed her diamond earrings, replaced her Cartier watch with a modest Timex. The transformation was deliberate. Tonight she wasn't Jasmine Porter, tech mogul. She was Jazz, another black woman trying to earn a living in a city that often made that unnecessarily difficult. Her luxury SUV waited in the private garage, a vehicle identical to those used by top-tier Ride Connect drivers. She'd insisted on authenticity when designing the VIP program. Premium vehicles, professional drivers, seamless experiences that justified the higher rates. Across the city, Marcus Chen prepared for his own evening with very different intentions. His corner office at Titan Investments occupied prime real estate in the financial district. Chen had built his reputation as a ruthless dealmaker, someone who identified weakness and exploited it without mercy. Tonight's dinner represented the culmination of months negotiating a hostile takeover of a struggling manufacturing company. The deal would net his firm $200 million while costing 3,000 workers their jobs. Chen felt no guilt. Business was business. Winners and losers. He intended to always be the former. His reflection stared back from floor-to-ceiling windows. Custom-tailored Tom Ford suit, Italian leather shoes, gold cufflinks that cost more than most people earned monthly. Every detail calculated to project dominance, superiority, the kind of success that demanded deference from everyone around him. His assistant brought the evening's itinerary. "Sir, your Ride Connect VIP is confirmed for 9 p.m. The route includes stops at Matsuhisa for dinner, then the Platinum Club for drinks with the Titan partners." Chun barely acknowledged her. He expected perfection from service providers. Anything less deserved immediate consequences. His phone displayed dozens of one-star reviews he'd left for drivers who'd committed minor infractions. Wrong music playing. Temperature slightly off. Failure to open doors fast enough. Chun believed in teaching lessons about proper service. At 8:55 p.m., Jasmine pulled up outside Titan Investments' gleaming tower. Her app displayed passenger information. Marcus Chin, 4.2-star rating as a passenger. Multiple complaints from drivers about aggressive behavior and refusal to tip. The low rating should have triggered account suspension, but VIP clients received special consideration. Jasmine made a mental note to review that policy. Chun emerged from the building flanked by 3 colleagues, all men in expensive suits carrying themselves like conquering generals. They climbed into Jasmine's SUV without acknowledgement, treating her like furniture rather than a person. "Good evening, gentlemen." Jasmine kept her voice professionally neutral. "I'm Jazz, your driver tonight. First stop is Matsuhisa on La Cienega." Chin didn't look up from his phone. "Just drive. We're already late because you weren't waiting at the curb." Jasmine had arrived exactly on time, but she said nothing. The colleagues settled into leather seats, immediately opening champagne from the vehicle's premium bar. Chun poured 4 glasses without offering one to Jasmine. The oversight was deliberate, a reminder of hierarchy. The conversation started before Jasmine even pulled into traffic. Chun dominated, describing the day's conquest with undisguised glee. "We're gutting Peterson Manufacturing, selling the assets, liquidating inventory, closing all domestic operations. The board thinks they can fight us, but they're finished." One colleague, younger and less confident, hesitated. "Marcus, what about the workers? 3,000 people losing jobs right before the holidays seems harsh." Chen's laugh was cruel. "Harsh? This is business, David. Those workers were inefficient, overpaid, and obsolete. We're doing the economy a favor by removing dead weight. Besides, they can find other jobs. That's what unemployment benefits are for." Jasmine's hands tightened on the steering wheel, but her expression remained neutral. She'd heard this rhetoric before. People who'd never struggled dismissing others' suffering as personal failure rather than systemic injustice. The conversation shifted to more personal topics. Chun bragged about his recent vacation, $50,000 spent on a week in Monaco. His new Lamborghini, purchased on impulse because he'd gotten bored with his Bentley. His country club membership where he'd blackballed several applicants for being the wrong type of people. "What type?" David asked carefully. "You know." Chen's tone made his meaning unmistakable. "People who don't fit the culture, who wouldn't be comfortable in our environment. We have standards to maintain." Jasmine caught his eyes in the rearview mirror. Chun was staring at her with undisguised contempt, making sure she understood exactly what type of people he meant. The racism wasn't subtle. It was deliberate, designed to remind her of her place in his worldview. Traffic slowed near the restaurant. Construction had closed 2 lanes, creating a bottleneck that added 10 minutes to the route. Jasmine navigated carefully, but Chen's patience evaporated immediately. "Why are we stopped?" His voice cut through the vehicle like a blade. "I'm paying premium rates for premium service. Figure it out. Sir, there's construction ahead. I'm taking the fastest alternate route available. I don't care about excuses." Chun leaned forward, his breath reeking of expensive champagne and entitlement. "You people are all the same. Incompetent, lazy, always making excuses instead of delivering results." The colleagues shifted uncomfortably. Even they recognized Chun had crossed a line. But nobody challenged him. Nobody ever challenged Marcus Chin. Jasmine's voice remained steady. "Sir, I understand you're frustrated. We'll arrive at Matsuhisa in approximately 8 minutes. Don't tell me what I'm feeling." Chen's anger was escalating, fueled by alcohol and the day's adrenaline. "You're here to drive, not speak unless spoken to. Know your role." The vehicle fell silent except for Chen's aggressive typing on his phone. Jasmine recognized the behavior. He was writing a complaint, documenting perceived failures, building a case for not paying and leaving a devastating review. They arrived at Matsuhisa exactly on schedule. Jasmine pulled smoothly to the curb, but before she could exit to open doors, Chan was already outside, gesturing impatiently. The colleagues followed, leaving champagne glasses scattered across the leather seats and the bar area in disarray. "Will be 2 hours. Chen didn't ask, he commanded. "Be here at 11 o'clock sharp. And clean up this mess. It's disgusting." The mess was entirely theirs, but Jasmine simply nodded. "Yes, sir. Enjoy your dinner." Chun paused, studying her with open hostility. "What's your name again?" "Jazz." "Well, Jazz, let me be clear. I expect perfection. Anything less and you'll regret accepting this ride. Understand?" Jasmine met his eyes directly. "I understand completely, sir." Something in her steady gaze unsettled Chun. Most service workers cowered under his intimidation. This woman looked at him like an equal, maybe even with pity. The audacity infuriated him, but his colleagues were waiting. He'd deal with this uppity driver later. Jasmine spent the 2 hours cleaning the vehicle and reviewing driver complaints through her CEO access portal. The patterns were disturbing. Passengers like Chun regularly abused drivers, left vehicles trashed, refused payment, and faced minimal consequences. The VIP program she designed to provide premium experiences had become a shield for entitled behavior. She made notes for Monday's executive meeting. Policy changes needed immediately. Better driver protections. Stricter passenger accountability. The technology could track everything, but the company had prioritized passenger retention over driver dignity. That ended now. At 11 o'clock sharp, Chun and his colleagues emerged from Matsuhisa, loud and significantly more intoxicated. They climbed into the vehicle without acknowledgement, tracking mud across the freshly cleaned floor mats. "Platinum Club," Chun announced. "And drive faster this time. I'm tired of your excuses about traffic." Jasmine pulled into the street, maintaining professional composure despite Chen's escalating aggression. The colleagues had grown quieter, uncomfortable with their boss's behavior but unwilling to intervene. Chun opened another champagne bottle, this time drinking directly rather than using glasses. His phone rang and he answered on speaker, not caring that everyone could hear his conversation. "The deal's done," he crowed. Peterson's board caved completely. "We're announcing the acquisition Monday morning. Stock price will tank, we'll buy up shares at basement prices, then liquidate everything. Easiest $200 million we've ever made." The caller asked about the workers. Chen's response was dismissive. "Who cares? They're collateral damage. Business isn't a charity. If they wanted job security, they should have made themselves valuable." Jasmine thought about the 3,000 families Chun was casually destroying. Parents who'd lose health insurance. Kids whose college funds would evaporate. Retirees who'd lose pensions they'd earned over decades. Also, Marcus Chun could add another zero to his net worth. The Platinum Club appeared ahead, its exclusive entrance marked by velvet ropes and intimidating security. Jasmine pulled to the curb, but before she could put the vehicle in park, Chen's champagne glass slipped from his hand. The crystal shattered against the leather seat, spraying champagne across the interior. Chen stared at the mess, then at Jasmine, and made a decision that would destroy his life. "Look what you did," he snarled. "Your terrible driving made me spill." "Sir, the vehicle was stopped when the glass fell." "Are you calling me a liar?" Chen's face contorted with rage. "You made me spill and now you're going to clean it up." Immediately, Jasmine remained calm. "Sir, I'll clean the vehicle after I drop you at your destination." "No." Chen's voice dropped to something dangerous. "You'll clean it now. Get back here and clean up your mess." The colleagues exchanged nervous glances. David spoke carefully. "Marcus, maybe we should just go inside. Let her handle it. Stay out of this, David." Chun was beyond reason now, beyond any consideration of consequences. This driver needs to learn respect. Jasmine met his eyes in the rearview mirror. "Sir, I've been nothing but professional tonight. I'll clean the spill, but I need you to exit the vehicle first." "I'll exit when I'm ready." Chun leaned forward, his hand reaching toward Jasmine's shoulder. "Right now, you're going to apologize for your incompetence and your attitude." His fingers gripped her shoulder, shoving her forward against the steering wheel. The designer watch on Jasmine's wrist caught the streetlight, its distinctive face visible for just a moment. A custom Patek Philippe, one of only 50 made, worth more than Chun earned annually. But Chun didn't notice. He was too focused on asserting dominance, on teaching this uppity black woman her place in his hierarchy. Jasmine's voice remained steady despite the assault. "Sir, you need to remove your hand immediately." "Or what?" Chun laughed. "You'll report me? I'm a VIP client. The company protects people like me from people like you." The colleagues were pulling out phones now, not to record Chen's behavior, but to distance themselves from the situation. David quietly exited the vehicle, unwilling to witness whatever came next. Chun shoved Jasmine again, harder this time. "Know your place. You're nothing. A nobody driving a car because you couldn't do anything better with your worthless life." Jasmine turned slowly, her movement controlled and deliberate. She looked at Marcus Chun with something that wasn't anger or fear. It was pity mixed with certainty. "Mr. Chun, you have no idea who you're speaking to. I know exactly who you are." Chen's breath was hot with champagne and rage. "You're a driver. Replaceable, forgettable, worthless. And after tonight, you'll be unemployed." Jasmine reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. She opened an app, her CEO access portal, and turned the screen toward Chen. The display showed his passenger profile, his complaint history, and something else. A red banner reading "Account suspended. Permanent ban. CEO authorization." What is that supposed to be? Chun squinted at the screen, too drunk to process what he was seeing. "That's your Ride Connect account, Mr. Chun. Permanently banned effective immediately for assault, harassment, and discriminatory behavior toward a driver." "You can't ban me. I'm a VIP client. I'll call your supervisor and have you fired." Jasmine's smile was cold. "I don't have a supervisor, Mr. Chun. I'm Jasmine Porter. I own Ride Connect. You just assaulted your CEO." The color drained from Chen's face. The colleagues who'd remained in the vehicle went completely still. David, standing on the sidewalk, pulled out his phone and started frantically searching. His screen filled with images. Jasmine Porter at tech conferences. Jasmine Porter on magazine covers. Jasmine Porter testifying before Congress about rideshare worker protections. Every photo showed the same woman currently sitting in the driver's seat, the woman Chen had just shoved and called worthless. "Marcus," David's voice was barely a whisper. "That's actually her. That's Jasmine Porter." Chun stared at Jasmine, his champagne-soaked brain trying to process the impossible. The driver was a billionaire. The woman he'd assaulted owned the company. Everything he'd said, every slur, every threat, had been directed at someone with the power to destroy him. Jasmine calmly pulled out a second phone and dialed. Her voice was professional, detached. "This is Jasmine Porter. I need security and police at the Platinum Club immediately. I've been assaulted by a passenger." "Yes, I'm fine. No, I want this handled through proper channels. Full report, full prosecution." She ended the call and looked at Chun. "You have two choices, Mr. Chun. Exit my vehicle now and wait for police, or I'll have security remove you. Either way, you're facing assault charges and I'm pressing them fully." Chen's colleagues were already outside, distancing themselves from the disaster. David was on his phone, probably calling Titan's legal department. The others looked at Chun with disgust, realizing his behavior had just created massive liability for everyone associated with him. "This is a misunderstanding," Chun stammered, his arrogance evaporating. "I didn't know who you were. If I'd known. If you'd known I was wealthy and powerful, you'd have treated me with respect?" Jasmine's voice cut through his excuses. "But because you thought I was just a driver, just another black woman trying to earn a living, you felt entitled to assault me? That's not what I meant." "It's exactly what you meant, Mr. Chun. And now you're going to face consequences for once in your privileged life." Security arrived within minutes, followed closely by police. Jasmine provided her statement with the same calm precision she used in boardroom negotiations. Officers took photos of her shoulder where Chun had shoved her, of the champagne-soaked interior of the shattered glass. Chun tried his usual tactics. "Officer, I'm Marcus Chun from Titan Investments. This is clearly a misunderstanding. I'm a VIP client. Surely we can resolve this reasonably." The officer looked at Jasmine, then at Chun. "Sir, you assaulted someone. Her status as your CEO doesn't change that. You're under arrest. As they handcuffed Chun, David approached Jasmine hesitantly. Ms. Porter, I want you to know I didn't participate in any of his behavior. I actually left the vehicle before the assault. Jasmine studied him. You left, but you didn't stop him. You didn't speak up when he used racial slurs. You were complicit through silence. David's face flushed. You're right. I apologize. Your apology means nothing without changed behavior, Mr. David. But I appreciate you at least recognizing your failure. The police led Chin away, still protesting, still believing his connections would protect him. Jasmine watched with the satisfaction of someone who'd spent years being underestimated finally proving her worth. By morning, the story had exploded across social media. Tech CEO assaulted by VIP passenger while working undercover as driver. The video from Jasmine's dashcam, which recorded everything, went viral within hours. Marcus Chen's face became synonymous with entitled racism. Titan Investments issued a statement before markets opened. Marcus Chen has been terminated effective immediately. His behavior does not reflect our values or standards. We apologize to Ms. Porter and are cooperating fully with authorities. But Jasmine wasn't satisfied with Chen's firing. She'd spent 15 years building Ride Connect on principles of dignity and respect for workers. One man's downfall wasn't enough. Systemic change was required. She called an emergency board meeting. The conference room filled with executives who'd questioned her undercover driving tradition. Now they understood why she insisted on experiencing the platform firsthand. What happened last night reveals failures in our VIP program, Jasmine began. We've prioritized passenger retention over driver protection. That ends today. She presented new policies. Immediate suspension for any passenger complaint involving discrimination or harassment. Mandatory respect training for all VIP clients. Driver authority to refuse service without penalty. Transparent rating systems that held passengers accountable. Some board members worried about revenue impact. Jasmine's response was firm. If our business model requires tolerating abuse, we don't deserve to exist. We'll succeed by treating everyone with dignity or we'll fail with integrity. The policies passed unanimously. Within a week, Ride Connect announced the most comprehensive driver protection program in the industry. Other rideshare companies scrambled to match the standards, knowing Jasmine had just reset expectations. Marcus Chin faced criminal charges for assault. His career was destroyed, his reputation ruined. But more importantly, his behavior had triggered changes that would protect thousands of drivers from similar abuse. 6 months later, Jasmine received a letter from Chun. Written from his court-mandated anger management program, it attempted apology. I'm learning that my behavior was unacceptable. I'm working to understand my privilege and prejudice. I hope someday you can forgive me. Jasmine filed the letter without responding. Forgiveness wasn't hers to grant. The driver's Chun had abused over years deserved his apology more than she did. Her role was ensuring his behavior couldn't be repeated. She continued her quarterly undercover driving, experiencing the platform from the front lines. Each ride informed new policies, new protections, new ways of ensuring Ride Connect lived up to its founding principles. At a tech conference, a young black woman approached Jasmine nervously. Ms. Porter, your story inspired me to report harassment I experienced as a driver. Because of your courage, I found mine. Jasmine smiled. That's why I shared what happened. Not for revenge, but so others know they don't have to accept abuse silently. The woman hesitated. Can I ask, were you scared that night? When he assaulted you? Terrified, Jasmine admitted. But fear and action aren't mutually exclusive. We can be afraid and still stand up for ourselves. The Marcus Chin incident became required reading in business schools, studied as a case of how power, privilege, and prejudice intersect. How one moment of entitlement can destroy a career. How underestimating people based on their current role rather than their inherent worth leads to catastrophic mistakes. Jasmine Porter continued building her empire, but never forgot the lesson. Success wasn't measured by wealth accumulated, but by dignity defended, by systems changed, by people protected. And somewhere, Marcus Chun learned the hardest lesson of his privileged life. That every person deserves respect regardless of their job, their race, or their perceived status. That true power comes from lifting others up, not pushing them down. Have you ever witnessed someone underestimate another person completely? Have you stood up against injustice even when it was uncomfortable? Share your story in the comments. Like if you believe everyone deserves dignity regardless of their position. Subscribe for more stories where justice emerges from unexpected places, where ordinary moments reveal extraordinary character, where choosing respect over entitlement changes everything.